to stand by their zonal coordinators. We are starting with Ekewan Zone 2. Eizoge Grace, Esakoka Blessing, David Nena. Can we be fast, please? Where are these people? Okay. Please. Come. Sir? What do you want? No. Miss Eunice. Mrs. Anita Ifeanyi. Okay. Faith Osayende. Mrs. Obey.
Can you turn me on? Sorry. What he's doing is that it's not just announcing it to the church. If you hear your name, you will step out. If they call you and you are not here, you are forfeited your food for today. Unless they are they are for second service. You know, we have multiple services. So sometimes they are not able to tell. But once they call your name and you are not here physically, there's nothing like, I will come and collect it after church. Listen, you will call this, they call your name, they are taking it here. If the person is not here, because that was the instruction we gave, your own shall another take. Did you hear me? There's nothing like we will come back later. Oh, I didn't want to come out. I hope it's clear. So go over the names again. Maybe they thought they were saying present, sir. No. Present and carry your food. Thank you. Go ahead again.
Ekewan Zone 2. Kester Obana is the zonal coordinator of Ekewan Zone 2. The following persons, please, you come out for your food items. Eizoge Grace, Esakoka Blessing, David Nena, Miss Eunice, Anita Ifeanyi, Faith Osayende, Mr. Lugard F.A., Mr. Peter, Mr. Godwin Osaboye Amadin. Oh, sorry. Mrs. Glory Igodala. Mrs. Glory Godala. Madam Esther Ero.
Mrs. Igodala, they don't give her. That woman will not do
Oha Igodala. Mrs. Mercy Amadi. Mrs. Moturayo Ezomo. Mrs. Osas Marvelous. Mrs. Balogun Precious.
What's her name? What's your name? Joy. Okay, I believe.
Mrs. Ekatok Gladys. Egwabon Donald. Mrs. Okon Annette. Obi Victor. Ima Akman.
Usas Mevelos.
Mrs. Omede, evening. Mrs. Edobo Ohi. Okay, we proceed to Ogida zone. Ogida zone.
Don't call this name.
Mrs. Itoan Obaze, cell leader. Mrs. Esther Osayande. Ruth Gabriel. Ruth Gabriel. Esther Okwedo.
Okay. Atra, okay.
Eunice Chima. Mary Iyoha. Helen Omoregbe. Cynthia Ojo. Isibo Itoha. Ojakilome Divine. Glorious Love.
Yes.
Harmony Okemute. Idubejolo.
Okay, Captain.
Okubo Esosa.
Okay. Abi? Okay. Harmony, Harmony, I don't see him.
Medford Queen. Blessing Ogoya. Dennis Oduka. Ekewa one, please. Ekewa one. From Ekewa one, Mrs. Betta Shaibu. Mrs. Mercy Asojo. Mrs. Sandra Anigberi. Mr. Jonathan. Mr. Bright Osaige. Mrs. Faith. Mrs. Joseph Enododia.